Hello students, welcome to this video lesson on writing about graphs. Alright, so you've got this worksheet. This is going to be our note, okay? And normally I would be at the front of the room or at the blackboard teaching this lesson, but I've got it as a PowerPoint presentation. So what I want you to do is I want you to fill in these different sections as we go. So I'm going to kind of go back and forth between a number of documents here. I want you also to keep in mind the sheet that we were working on the other day, describing trends and graphs worksheet, because it has a lot of the vocabulary that I want you to use. Okay? So, if you got your pencil ready, here we go. Writing about graphs note. First section, first glance. All right, so I want you to write this as a jot note, or you can put it as you can write A and then a bracket. Circle. So the first thing I want you to do whenever you see a graph and when you're asked to write about that graph is to circle or highlight or draw arrows to identify interesting sections. So when you're looking at a graph, you're basically scanning it over and you're just kind of highlighting certain areas that you find are interesting. Now again, at any time, if you need to pause the video because I'm going too fast, then please do so. I don't want you to fast forward through the video though. Okay, the next point. Then I want you to look for the biggest, the smallest, stable or unchanging parts, sudden increases or decreases, etc. So in other words, the parts of the graph that look interesting. So if we have a big jump, a small jump, if there are certain areas of the graph that aren't doing anything, okay, I want you to look for those. Okay, so again, press pause anytime if I'm going too fast. All right, we're going to go on to the second section, identifying trends. So a trend is the overall idea of the graph. So I've got four bullet points there, A, B, C, and D. So A, you're asking yourself, what is happening and what happened? B, the main change over time. C, the most noticeable thing about the graph. And D, is there a pattern over time? Okay, I'm going to go on to section 3, how to write out your answer. First thing, we need an introduction sentence. So in the introduction sentence, we want to describe the graph and what it is trying to show. So we'll just start with the graph shows, or this graph shows, and then I'll show you what to write after that. The second thing you want to do is you want to state a trend or trends you noticed with no proof. So you can say something like, overall, the trend is upward, downward, wildly fluctuating. Here's where you get to use those vocabulary words to describe what's happening in the graph. 3, you need to state your proof with numbers specifically and directly from the graph. And number 4, in the conclusion, we repeat the main trend or trends without numbers or proof. We don't give an opinion. So this is kind of the structure of how I want you to write your paragraph when you describe a graph. All right, let's go on to the fourth section at the bottom of the page. Some don'ts. A, don't describe the X and Y axis. Don't tell me what the X axis means and what the Y axis means. B, you don't need to describe everything on the graph. Pick the biggest or smallest or main points or the main trends. If you described everything on the graph, your paragraph would be pages and pages long for some graphs. C. Don't write about the line or the bar. For example, don't write the line went up or the bar went down. Instead, write about the idea. For example, if the graph is about oil production shot up between 1963 and 1965. You see, by just replacing a few words, how much more intelligent and how much more data that gives us. Let's flip over the page. Let's go to D. Do write about the idea. The number of cars, for example, the number of cars produced declined rapidly, and not cars went down. Okay, you see the difference there. One is a very simplistic statement that's not really true. The car didn't go anywhere. It's the number of cars produced that declined. And then if we put in that word rapidly, that just describes the trend a lot more precisely, doesn't it? E. Don't use I feel or I think or as you can see. Keep your audience out of your paragraph. Keep it academic. And F. Don't start sentences with but, so, also, and, or because. Okay? So I'm going to pause and stop this video here. So this is going to be the end of part 1, and then we're going to look at question 5 and 6 on your worksheet in the next video. Okay? So thanks for watching. Bye.